Listen up. I'm the tone manual. I've spent over 30 years dragging heavy tube amps into sticky dive bars, obsessing over tone, and learning the hard way exactly what needs to happen before you strike that very first chord. Every professional guitarist has a pre-show ritual. It's not superstition, it's physics and muscle memory. And it's the difference between a show that sounds locked in and effortless and one that falls apart in the first song. Here are 5 things pros do before every show that most bedroom players never even think about. So, what's on the roadmap today? We're going to cover stretching your strings manually, wiggling cables with a live signal, adjusting for stage volume, checking your noise floor, and finally, tuning to the actual room temperature. Let's dive right into number 1, stretching the strings manually. Look, when you throw on a fresh pack of strings, or honestly, even if you're just using strings that haven't been played hard in a few days, they are simply not seated right. The physics of your instrument are pretty unforgiving here. New strings will naturally want to go sharp under the sheer physical stress of you bending notes and picking aggressively. I mean, think about it. You're digging in, you're sweating, you're pushing that metal to its absolute limit against those frets. The metal of the string actually has to fully seat itself around the tuning peg and lock down into the bridge saddles. If you don't pull that hidden slack out manually yourself, your hands are going to do it for you right in the middle of a solo when you least expect it. Here's the harsh reality of skipping this. Your guitar might be perfectly in tune while you're sitting in that quiet, comfortable dressing room, but it's going to go hopelessly out of tune by the second song of your set. So here's what you do. The technique is super simple. You grab the string, pull it firmly away from the fretboard at multiple points up and down the neck, and then retune it. You've got to repeat that process 3 or 4 times per string until it completely stops going flat on you. Don't just rely on your tuning pegs, man. Get your hands dirty and pull that slack out. All right, moving on to number 2, checking every cable with a live signal. There is a massive difference in mindset between an amateur and a road-tested veteran when it comes to cables. The weekend bedroom player, they do a quick visual check. They look at the rubber on the cables, see no obvious cuts or exposed wire, and just assume, hey, it's perfectly fine. But the touring pro knows the hard truth. A cable that works perfectly while you're standing dead still can and will fail the exact moment you take a step forward on stage. Pros do not just look at cables, they stress them. Here's how you do it. You plug every single cable into your rig, and you run an active audio signal right through the chain. Then, you physically grab the connection points at the input jack of your guitar, the pedals, and the amp, and you aggressively wiggle them. You are literally stressing the cable while audio is running through it, and you're actively listening for any crackles, volume dropouts, or sudden hums. An intermittent solder joint is a ticking time bomb. Having your main cable completely die in the middle of a solo is a heavy, sinking nightmare that you only have to live through once before you learn to do this test every single night. Let's get into number 3, setting gain staging for your stage volume. Before you even touch a knob on your amp, you have to understand the Fletcher-Munson effect, which is just a fancy scientific way of saying your human ears perceive low and high frequencies very differently when a sound is loud versus when it's quiet. This right here is the exact reason why those killer settings you spent hours painstakingly dialing in at home almost never work at a live gig. In your bedroom, a heavily scooped mid-range with lots of bass and a ton of gain, meaning the amount of distortion and drive you're pushing out, sounds warm, huge, and powerful. It feels great. But the physical result of taking that exact same amp setting to a bright, loud stage is that it will suddenly sound harsh, painfully thin, and it's going to get completely swallowed up by the bass player and the drum cymbals. What sounds balanced quietly sounds terrible loudly. This is exactly why pros always do a brief sound check at full gig volume and adjust their knobs right then and there. Your ears literally hear differently at stage volume, so trust the loud room, not the quiet bedroom. All right, number 4, verifying the pedal board power and the noise floor. We have to take a second to listen to your noise floor, which is simply the baseline hum and hiss your gear makes when you aren't playing anything at all. The absolute biggest enemy of a clean live sound is ground loops, which is that loud, awful electrical buzzing caused by messy, conflicting power connections in the building. You probably won't notice this at home, but I promise you, club wiring from the 1950s will expose it immediately. So, what exactly does the pro do about this? Well, before every single show, you turn on all the pedals on your board, every single overdrive, every delay, the whole shebang. You turn the master volume on your amp up to gig level. And you do all of this before you even plug your guitar in. Then, you just stand there and listen. Things like bad power supply noise, radio interference, and grounding hum, they only reveal themselves when all the circuits are fully powered up and the tubes are nice and warm.
The crucial point here is the real-world consequence. Finding a buzzing noise problem during an empty sound check is completely fixable. You actually have time to swap out a bad patch cord or flip a ground lift switch on your gear to safely kill that electrical hum. But finding out your pedal board sounds like a running chainsaw during the quiet, emotional intro of your very first song, yeah, that is not fixable. You're just stuck sounding like an amateur for the rest of the set, and nobody wants that.
And finally, number 5, tuning to the room temperature. Let me break down the actual physics of your instrument for a second. A simple ambient temperature shift of just 10 degrees Fahrenheit causes enough physical expansion and contraction in the wood of the guitar neck and the metal of the strings to pull the entire guitar noticeably sharp or flat. It is pure science, you cannot avoid it, and ignoring it will absolutely ruin your set. Here is exactly what happens to the guy who doesn't know this. He tunes his guitar perfectly backstage where the air conditioning is blasting at 65 degrees. Then he walks out onto a packed stage under blazing hot, sweaty stage lighting where it's 80 degrees. The heat hits that wood, the neck expands, the strings change tension, and he starts the set painfully out of tune. The pro does it entirely differently. The pro puts the guitar on the stage stand, lets it soak in that hot stage environment for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and they tune last, right before the drummer counts off. You have to let the instrument warm up before you tell it where pitch is. So we've walked through stretching the strings, checking the cables, adjusting amp volume, monitoring the noise floor, and acclimating to room temperature. I want to leave you with this thought to chew on before your next gig. Is this level of preparation overkill for a weekend gig? Or is it exactly the reason why some guitarists always sound locked in and others always have one of those nights?